Okay, and we're live.
Don't say that shit. That's retarded.
What shall I say then?
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, that's
Whenever
not
you come
at
up
all.
with some nonsense.
Well, that is what I came up with.
You
Okay,
know,
so
this is why
anyway,
this is why people stop watching us
why do they stop watching us?
because we're talking nonsense for no reason.
It's
So
not
let's get to
nonsense.
the subject.
Yeah. So we're discussing very hot topic that is race. So you want to start? Maybe you want to start.
Well, I am in like a society that is based on one race. There's a few. There's to be fair, that you can. There's a few other people from other races, but most of them you can count on your hand.
Well, I'm at the opposite spectrum. I see people from every fucking race every day, and it pisses me off.
Why does it pisses you off?
Well, because I like my own people, and it's like I dislike Scandinavians pretty much, or almost as much as I like any like darker race. Let's say, like to me, they're like Scandinavians are too fucking tall. They don't smile, and they're just weird to me.
It's the
And
Finnish.
it's the
The
same
Finnish,
fucking
the
thing.
Finnish, no, seriously, the Finnish will go like, if you say good morning to a Finnish person, it's go like, "Grr!" Like that's how they say good morning there.
But what I mean is like I don't
Because you
like
have Finnish
people.
people, yeah, I know what you're talking about. They always go like, "Grr,"
Anyway, to top it off, I work in a fucking place that not only is my society full of different all these different peoples with different fucking cultures and different ways of talking and walking. In addition to that, I work in a place with all like a completely different microcosmos of diversity,
yeah,
and
but you mean the microcosmos is different outside than in your workplace?
yeah, it is like there's a lot more black people outside, but there is some as well, but they tend to be a little more civilized than the ones outside. But even so, like there's just the diversity is great if they're separated.
No,
If
diversity is great when everybody is left alone on their own continent, and that when you go to France, you see French people. You're not in Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I would want to see French people because they also are
Oh,
fucking.
fuck the French, to be
Yeah,
honest.
exactly.
At
But
least you know where the fuckers are. Now it's like, where is these fuckers?
yeah, exactly. And they probably like the white flight from France will probably start, and then we'll have fucking Frenchies everywhere.
Oh, not the Frenchmen. We should all.
Exactly.
No, I have already seen some French flight here and there. But to be fair, they're quite. I think they will just go to Quebec. I think.
Well, I was just reading the other day that Canada is the country that's most rapidly changing demographically. So they're importing so many fucking people from so many fucking different places that there won't be a fucking Canada in 20 years. Like that's even faster than most European societies. So
Well,
that's
Germany is going ahead with changing.
well,
But to be fair, I think Germany. Do you know that Angela Merkel is busy getting she wants to make a European nuclear program, but all she wants is Germany to basically own the French nuclear weapons.
that's what already is the case. Like for every other thing, like Germany or I should say the German political elite already controls pretty much all of the European Union. They
Yeah,
they they
yeah,
call the
but
shots.
it's not really the German people. It's more the
Of course.
retardation of the elitist. But to be fair, European is not even a democratic force. It's an intolerant bunch of bastards.
Well, that's
I mean,
that's
if you look at Belgium, they have this giant building there, and they have their own super mall there where they can shop in peace. It's not open to normal public, only politicians. And then, like what, few kilometers away, you have Molenbeek, like fucking Afghanistan
I've
place.
actually been inside the European place, like in Brussels,
Yeah.
and it is the most depressing fucking place I've ever been. Like, when I was there in Brussels, I went to this Turkish district. I had some good food, but in fucking the European fucking palace, the food was terrible. The people were terrible. Everything was pretty terrible. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could feel the robotic nature of those fucking bureaucrats.
Yep.
But
Yeah, but I find it so funny. You have this multicultural, well, basically not multicultural because it's just Afghanistan, Istanbul, and Somalia next to each other, and then you have the European Union head building that looks like the green zone in Iraq, where they put all the embassies,
yeah,
military and police, and all this shit around it. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah, that's one of the things that leftists either don't understand or they don't want to understand, is that when you bring in all these different races and cultures, they will segregate anyway. Like,
Yeah, but it's not even multiculturalism. It's just you're destroying other cultures by bringing in these things. So how are you making the world more diverse? You're making the world more the same shit.
well, the thing is
You're
that
making that you're making every place the third world,
yeah,
and
but
it's retarded.
they don't want white people. That's basically it. Like, whether you're white from the north or white from the south or white from the center, they just don't want it. They want to kill us off, all of us, pretty much all of us. They
Yeah, looks like it.
because why is Africa now becoming all Islamic? Because they're not smart enough to fight anything. They will just accept any rule. That's why they were slaves. And if you bring them here, they will be slaves here, just different types of slaves. And white people won't be slaves. So we're starting to fight this shit. But the brownies, what they want? Oh shit! I'm in trouble now. I call them brownies.
Brownies. Yeah, yeah, I know. Some people are gonna hate you,
Well,
but they're tiny. You can take them.
and not just that, like, who the fuck cares if these if they are going to hate me instead of trying to
It is
argue with
better
me.
to be hated than loved, anyway.
Well, I don't think that, but there's certainly
Oh,
it's certainly
come on. Okay, okay. Okay. Name me the person that prevented or did something great for the world, and name me someone evil. Come up with two names.
okay. So the first one, someone that did something great for the world, I would go with Jesus. And the second one, the hated one, I would go with I want to come up with a white guy, because Jesus was not white. So I want to come up with a white guy for the bad things, just so they can say, because I was going to say Barack
Jesus was
Obama.
black, right?
What? No, it wasn't black. It was like Middle Eastern.
No, because white people were also in Persia first.
No, that's true.
All
But
that places, Persia and shit, was all white.
no, I know. But
Okay.
the evidence, the anthropological evidence that exists, points
You had a
towards
tan. You want to
Jesus.
say you had a bit of a tan?
Yeah, you could probably pass as Portuguese, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe he
You
was
Jesus was
Portuguese.
a Portuguese. There you go.
Yeah, we are descendants from Jesus. So fuck you, Scandinavians, and fuck the blacks as well. Well, anyway, so Jesus and the bad guy. Well, let's say Hitler. Hitler was a pretty bad
Yeah,
guy.
it's always the Popper guy that comes to mind. But I mean, how many people know Hitler and how many people? Well, okay, Jesus, a lot of people know. But to be fair, a lot of people, you can say he did some good stuff. He did some, maybe he did not so smart stuff. But to be
What
fair,
exactly
to
did he
find a
do?
person in like for instance, if you have to nail it down to the 20th century, do you know a good person in the 20th century that really did something great?
Well, the 20th century is such a clusterfuck of stupidity and evil that it's really hard. But I don't know. There were some intellectuals, I guess, that wrote pretty good stuff. I don't know, Mises, for example. Oh no, fuck, he was a Jew. You can't say that. Uh, no, I'll say Mises. Mises was a pretty good guy.
All right. Well, but I mean, if you look in the disparity, it's always if you have something bad done to you, you tell 7 people or 10 people, and when you have something good to you done, you only tell one person.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So I know a lot of people are whining bitches that the migrants, poor fellas, and shit like that. But to be fair, they doing so much shit. It's not even funny anymore. Even if there's 20 migrants that would do something great and they would come up with cures and shit or whatever, it's not even gonna help. It's like no, it does not. It's like to be fair, in where I am, Poland, there's no social benefits, and it's hilarious because nobody wants to come here.
Well, well,
If the European Union would force them to come here, there would be Polish people like selling tickets for a bus ride back to Germany. I
well,
am
you know, that's what happens here in Portugal as well. Like I think we took in like 300 or 500 or whatever, so not a it's a really small number, and most of them are actually going away. They flee to France and Germany. But the bad thing is that when they get caught, they get well, they get thrown back here, and we pay, like we the taxpayers pay for them for their relocation, so they can run
yeah,
away again. Like
that's stupid.
yeah, but
Uh,
yeah, for to me, like I would rather pay whenever we have to bring them back, just so they like because they will run away again, like most likely, and I would rather they keep running away. Just run away from here. Just don't
yeah, but
stay.
if you look at the different attitude, because there's black people here as well. There's not too many, and there's a few uh, Arabs, and most of the Spanish and Portuguese and so on, and a lot of Kazakhstan and we have so many Ukrainians here that are refugees, like so many Ukrainian refugees.
We have
It's
to.
amazing, and we never hear anything about Ukrainian refugees. There's a fucking war going on in that country. There's no war going on in half of Africa. Come on, fucking idiots.
Well,
This is what pisses me off. Racism against white refugees. This is the most disgraceful nonsense that gets me like this gets my blood boiling here. Then I just want it's just unbelievable how fucking racist people are.
well, first of all, the Ukrainians are white, and so they don't give a shit about them unless it's to fucking say bad things about Russia, like when the war started.
Oh yeah, when they're saying bad shit about Russia, they're always welcome. But I mean, as a refugee, I mean, this is something that happened in Holland. There was a rule: if you return to your country, you get 2,500 euros. And I mean, in Ukraine, it's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So there was like this policy. So a bunch of Ukrainians that showed up in Holland, you know, they're like, oh, what? But they got in this refugee camp with all these fucking Arabs and shit, and they were like, what the fuck is this shit? So they were like, yeah, let's go back, and then they got like, oh, you get money when you go back. Oh, let's do it. And I know some Moroccans did it as well. But I mean, these people were just making the laws that were like the laws that were built for them. They were just following this shit. And I know there was also a lot of complaining about these Europeans and so on, and yada yada yada. But
Well,
I mean,
he-
this shit that they abolished this law. I think it was mostly Ukrainians just going back to Ukraine with the money, and then they're
yeah,
complaining. It's like fuck off.
but you know, I
Seriously.
have to say, here in Portugal, we also have a huge Ukrainian minority. Like there's, I think it's like the third largest minority after blacks and gypsies, and they caused some fucking problems as well. So I would kick them out too. And I mean, fuck them, really. Just go back to your fucking country and fight the fucking the other Ukrainians that are helping the United States invade their country subreptitiously, because they have tons of fucking bases from the Americas, and they're like, just join fucking Russia. They're
No,
more likely.
there's no basis there. There's no base. The the Americans installed there in Lithuania, in Estonia, and Poland, and so on. White Russia is still with Russia.
No, but
Like,
what I mean is that the Americans are interfering in that place just to spite Russia, just to
yeah,
pay
yeah, yeah. But
attention
if you
with
see,
Russia.
Russia and China are totally surrounded by U.S. bases, was fucking ridiculous as well.
Y-
It's
Yeah,
like
but they're
these are so evil people. We have bases around them, and they're still evil people. It's like what
yeah.
the fuck, dude? I mean, to be fair, I would like to see all United States troops leave Europe.
Yeah, of course. Like the one reason why all this shit is happening is because like the only reason we have a European Union is because of the United States. Like this is not a European idea. I mean, there are of course Europeans involved, but this comes from the hegemonic power of the United States. They are the ones making the world safe for democracy since the First World War, and look what the fuck it got us. Just
I find United States is hypocrite shit because, I mean, they invaded Mexico and to California and shit like that, and they were like they're picking on a smaller person, and there was no one is gonna give a shit about what they're doing. But the thing
yeah,
is, when someone else is picking on something else, then they're gonna be bitching,
well,
and
they
it's
invade every
it's a bit
country.
it's a bit hypocritical. But, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
they wanted a war with Canada in 1812. I mean, the British didn't take it that well on it, but they actually didn't invade Canada because they got beat back. Was actually funny as fuck.
No, even when in the war between the states, like what they call the Civil War, there's nothing civil about it. But anyway, no, the war to end slavery. The Brits were going to intervene in the for the South because they were against the Union. But in the end, they didn't for several reasons, and I wish they did actually because that might have prevented this fucking terrible
Well, to
20th
be
century.
fair, I don't know why the Brits lost the colonies in the first place. Because if you look at how many battles they actually were lucky, it's not even funny. It's like how many times the British commander was incompetent of following up, or being too noble to like, oh, they had a bloody nose, let them go and recover so we can try again and be like professionals bullshit or something. If you see how many times that happened. But also, what is really hilarious, they attacked, they basically, in the 1812 they were attacking Britain when they were fighting against war against Napoleon. And actually, what happened? Napoleon was defeated, and then they sent, like, all the armies were free up. All the armies in Europe were freed up because they beat Napoleon. What actually the only thing that Americans get so wrong? Yeah, we beat the British that fought Napoleon. That's bullshit. The Dutch and the Germans, the Prussians, beat Napoleon at Waterloo, not the British. The British were part of the forces there, but the mainstay that took the brunt was the Dutch.
Well, it's the same thing in World War II. Like who defeated the Nazis was the USSR, not the United States. But anyway, to go back to the why did the Brits didn't win the War of Independence, or why did America, the traitors, why did they win the War of Independence? The reason why they won, is because the left always wins, because the right is like,
No, 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 no. They got help from a monarch called Idiot Louis. he
no, of
he
course
sent
they
them
got,
all the
yeah.
guns and all the money, and then he bankrupted his own country and got the fucking revolt, like the first leftist revolt on his hands, because he bankrupted his own country to spite the British and give the colonies chance to fight. And he
Yeah,
fucked
but
his own country over, which was hilarious actually, but it's also
I think it goes further than that. Actually, it's not just a question of military prowess or money or whatever. It's because when the left does a revolution or a war, which is basically the same thing, they always proclaim themselves to be the party of freedom and the party of
no. They always independent. We're the underdog. We're the ones that are always fighting up against the big man. Oh, we're never the main protagonist that is evil. That's total bullshit.
exactly. And so they got the support of the stupid
But
American settlers.
the thing is with the left, they always have the victim complex.
And that's how they win every fucking war, because they always play like they're the victims, and then they start every fucking war, but they don't start it like directly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, but I mean, what they do is they put sanctions on you. They bully you in a corner. It's the same what happened with Japan. They basically
exactly,
were
yeah.
bullied into a corner, and they had no more oil, and they had oil for 6 months, and they were like, okay, we have oil for 6 months. We can attack now and try and beat them, or we can in 6 months not try anything.
Yeah, and they leave the opposition, the good
The only
countries
choice that
actually.
you have is basically okay, and it's the same now with the race crisis, basically the race wars, as you can call them, and whatever. They don't leave people a choice. I know the refugees are being used as a weapon, but what choice do you have if you want to have a liberated Europe from this shit? There's only two choices that can happen: or these people are gonna hope, or these people are going into the ground. And I mean, the only way to scare as many of them away is very simple. You just murder a bunch and put them in the ground, and then the other ones will run and become refugees again, or migrants or whatever. So the choices that you get put in front of you, like the hard choices, is always the one that has to make the hard choices. Is always the opposition of the left, or the progress or the global nonsense fuckers. I don't know. It was the same with the Soviet Union. I mean, the Soviet Union was ready to invade the Germans.
So
And I
they
mean, I hear so many people say, they didn't do it. Like they were poor, they didn't know anything. They knew what was coming and they were getting ready for it. But the only thing they did, I think, Stalin was, we cannot attack them because then we look like the aggressors. And if it goes wrong, nobody's gonna come and help us. And I think that's what he was waiting for. He was waiting for Hitler to make the mistake of attacking him instead of the other way around. But I'm not 100% sure. I think he might have also have planned that he was gonna attack him actually.
Well, there are some indications that he was planning to attack them, but anyway, that's democracy for you. Like that's what the left always does, and I'm pretty sure the Americans called Stalin and told him like, okay, don't attack Hitler. Just we will keep pushing him, and you keep pushing him, and like building up your armies, and eventually he will attack you, and he will be the fucking asshole, and then you can kill every fucking German and no one will care, and then we'll give you half of Europe. That's
Oh,
basically what they
that
did.
was progress in the progress. So they were not straight away give everything. I think they kept cards open, but in the later stages they were giving everything away.
Well, that's my
They even gave they like were the I think only place that Britain was getting was Greece, and then everything above that was Soviet.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that I'm pretty sure they planned this beforehand, because it's way too coincidental to be like to just be a coincidence.
No, I think they were thinking it through. Like, okay, if we attack him, it might be this. If we don't, it might be that. And I'm pretty sure that it was like, okay, because he was also thinking, okay, I can build up a really, really good force if they're fighting Britain and they're getting exhausted, and then we should just whoop up and take out everything that's left.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the plan, but I think it backfired sort of. But it's mostly the plan. But I think the same plan in Europe at the moment now is just invade, invade, invade. But I'm also not sure, because what I'm thinking, there's two plans. Or there's a plan to make a new Middle Eastern state that's completely controlled by Israel. But what they need to do is destabilize everything around and make all the fighting men go off somewhere else. But you need to make Europe hate them as fuck. So you just make them hate them so that they give Israel all the leeway that they can do whatever the fuck they want. So I think that's the main goal at the moment, but I'm not sure.
At this point, I really don't care anymore. I just want those fuckers out of Europe. I really don't care. Like some people are really
You don't even
obsessed.
care what they do with it. I know, but it's like to be fair, here I see I see a lot of them coming as well. Actually, this is increasing. Like 3 years ago, it was not so many of them, but now I see a lot more of them coming as well. What I do see is most of them want to work. I mean, there's no freeloaders here. There's only people that work.
Yeah, but that's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it starts. First, the ones that gonna work and they're gonna tell their friends, "Oh, it's not bad here," blah blah blah, and all this
yeah.
shit.
And Islam is not a fucking religion. It's a fucking military ideology, like a fucking evil, sexually perverted ideology. Like all of them are like to fuck young boys, and they prefer to fuck men, and they just use women to procreate. They fucking tear their vaginas apart so they look like fucking assholes. And I mean literally like anuses. They just look this shit up, like genital mutilation. Look what it
Yeah,
looks like.
disgusting.
It's
I
fucking
completely agree.
disgusting.
But I mean, the same shit is goes for when you remove foreskin from guys' penises and shit. From little
Well, it's
babies, man.
you
This
know
is also fucking
no,
ridiculous.
I agree. I
No, no,
agree.
no. This is also fucking ridiculous.
It is
I don't think
ridiculous.
anyone has to be chopped up in when you're born. Fuck that shit. You
No, I
crazy?
agree. I agree,
I
but
think if you chop up a child, anyone can chop up you
I
with
agree, but
get a
it's
free
not the
pass.
same because in Islam it has this perverse perverse reason behind it, and the reason behind it is because they don't view women as as human. They basically are just they're worse than cattle, actually. Like
Yeah, but to be fair, I think they're thinking anyone is worse than cattle. Anyone that doesn't believe in Islam. I mean, yeah, the women are like under the totem pole, but if, at least if they're Muslim, they're okay.
they're
But
not
I mean,
okay.
anything.
What the
No, no,
fuck?
no. But I mean, you have like the
Jesus.
men are on top of the totem pole, and then you have the ones underneath, and then the children, and then you have the women, and then after behind that, of course, you have the ones that are like the non-believers and so on.
No, let me just say this. For the ones that are curious about this shit, just search on YouTube and Barnhart. Annbarnadht, I think. And look, Ann Barnhart, Islam, sex or something, and you'll get a really good lecture on this with pictures. And just make sure you didn't eat anything beforehand because you'll throw up of how fucking disgusting it is. And this, like, we need to fight this fucking ideology because they will, first of all, they will conquer the blacks as they're doing in Africa because they're
Yeah, but
just
the blacks,
dumb.
to be fair, the blacks are always the screws from. The thing is that they don't realize in America if there's Arabs coming for them, Arabs don't have that much empathy. I mean, there's Arabs for scoff. They have empathy, with Ramadan. They will give their fellow Muslims food, but they ain't giving no food or shelter or whatever to non-believers. Of course not.
Of course
I
not.
mean, the mosques are they're nice in charity work, but it's only for the Muslims. As soon as there's blacks, man, the blacks are the slaves of the Muslims. And I mean, as long as the whites are around, you might get a little leeway and you might be able to get the benefit here and there. But as soon as the Arabs take over the world, the blacks are screwed. You're fucking pets now.
Yeah, but they're too stupid to understand it. Like, so they won't fight against it. They'll just join Islam and then be slaves of Islam.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can say a lot about the North American slave trade, but you should definitely look up. And if you're interested in this sort of shit, you should look up the Muslim slave trade. And I mean, if you look up, for instance, this is quite a funny story. You had the harem of the Ottoman Empire, so the Ottoman Sultan.
Yeah.
All the guards were black.
But they probably had their balls cut off or something.
Their whole testicles and balls, like the balls and the penis, were chopped off.
Yeah,
All of it.
and then they fucking lecture us on fucking slavery. Like, there are studies, not from now, but from the time when slavery was actually in place in the South of America. The studies were basically comparing the quality of life of African slaves in the South to British people in under the Industrial Revolution, and there's no fucking comparison. The British people in during the Industrial Revolution suffered so much more than the African slaves
Oh, they were beaten to
at
shit.
the
I
same
mean,
time.
the I mean, okay, in the city, I mean, how much shit is laying around, all those diseases. I mean, I know maybe the tropics are not good as well, but I mean, in the city in London, man, that was a pestilence.
Yeah,
If you have
exactly.
you ever had herpes?
God,
Trust me, if
no.
you ever had herpes or something like that, and you have
What do you
someone
think I
from
am, a degenerate? God damn
and
it.
no, listen to if you had there's a can't remember what it is, but there's one archaeological search done in like the city center of London, and they just pick like whole graves of this interjustical period and also before, and they just found one girl that was probably a prostitute. And they you could see on the skeleton, not on the this is ridiculous. On the skeleton, you could see what kind of pock marks of syphilis she had on her face, and I can tell you, her face was like a cratered moon with freaking meteorites sticking out of it.
God, that's disgusting.
That is fucking disgusting. But imagine people walking around like that.
Yeah, but that goes to say that they always, pick the slavery card, and the American blacks have a higher fucking IQ than the African blacks. And why is that?
There's a few blacks that are really smart. I agree, but there's a
No, but
two
I mean
fucking
the
idiots.
average.
The
No, of
average,
course there are, but I
but
mean the
there's so many
average.
dumb ones.
Yeah, of course there are, but the average IQ of blacks in America is 85, and the average IQ of blacks in sub-Saharan Africa is like 70, and
Yeah,
that's
but I
like,
think maybe that's also because there's so many of them.
you
I
know,
mean, I don't
I
know
would say,
how badly they breed in America, but in Africa they breed like rabbits.
well, in America they breed a lot, but they also abort a lot of babies, so there probably would be more. But
Yeah,
the thing
maybe that's
is,
because of the abortion that they keeping the IQ rate a bit lower.
well, I don't know. My guess is that the Africans in America are more educated. They have access to better food. They Some of them intermarry with whites, or have children with whites. Like, it even happened during slavery times. Like the master would fuck the cute black girl, and have mixed babies.
I cannot even see how you can do that.
Well, I find some black women quite attractive, but that doesn't mean anything. And actually, I want to say something else. The intelligent blacks I meet, they fucking hate the other blacks. Like the
Yeah, because they bring down not only your race, but I mean they bring down your whole culture. They bring
exactly.
it all down to like this. Oh, they came with the boat and slavery and this and this. I mean, half these blacks don't even know what part of the continent they came from, what tribe they came from. All this identity shit that I think they should really need this to feel somewhere at home or whatever. They don't have this. I mean, yeah, the white people in America don't have this either. Well, I'm Irish or I'm not German or I'm English or whatever. They know this as well, but they also miss this tribal. And I think for the blacks community, especially there, it's the same. But also the ones in Europe that don't know where they came from. Well, if you look at the populations actually in Holland, you have the Antillians and you have the Surinamese, and they are really know where they came from. They know that they came from there. They for instance, Suriname, they still have that country. They love to go on holiday there, and I mean, they're not even they're accepted in the society. Even though in the beginning, of course, there was a bit of push not to have them, but to be fair, they integrated very well
Well,
into Holland. The same goes for the Antillians, although they're more crime related and stuff. I mean, they're more skanky people.
well,
But the
actually,
Surinamese, for instance, a lot of them have high quality jobs in Holland. Actually,
well, let me tell you something about that, because I have to work with a lot of Dutch people, and a lot of well, some of them are actually from Suriname, or at least their parents were from Suriname, and
hmm
so I've looked into a couple of statistics, and the first thing that strikes you when you look at the statistics is that the the violent criminals from those places are much higher, like 20%, compared to like 2% from native Dutch. And the other thing is, I have to work with this fucking idiot. He's literally one of the stupidest people I've ever known. Like, he doesn't speak properly. He can't do his fucking job without being aided by other people, like native Dutch people. And like, everybody knows this, and I'm convinced he's the only reason he has this job is because of diversity quotas, because he's a fucking retard. His IQ must be like 65, and I'm not joking. Like,
really is that bad?
yeah, that bad. And there's just no way that's not a you know the reason for it, that is from Suriname, because all the other people from Holland, I mean, they're not very nice. Let's
Yeah,
say
but to
that.
be fair, you look at the demographic. I think that the people that are that are going anywhere to other places like Portugal to work with other languages.
No, but I
They're
don't mean those
mostly not
people.
the
No,
right.
but I don't mean those that come to Portugal, because that's a completely different issue. I know those that come to Portugal to work is it's different. But I mean people like I've met this guy from Suriname because he came to visit, but I work with him, like I have to talk on the phone with him and exchange emails and shit. So I only know if I know
But he
him
works
mostly
in
from
Holland
this.
or he works in Portugal.
No, he works in Holland,
Oh God.
and he's a fucking retard. Like
That's even
every
worse.
person that works with him knows that he's a retard, and either says it openly, as they've said to me, or they don't say it because they're, they can't. Because everybody knows. I literally, like, the only reason I see for him having this job, which actually entails some responsibility and some knowledge, the only reason has to be diversity quotas.
Yeah, but was he pushed there like they needed someone to take the responsibility, or was he more like, oh, he's gonna take the responsibility that?
Well, I honestly don't know, because when I started this job, he was already there, and it was pretty clear from the beginning. And every week you get a new example of how stupid he is, like every week. And he's not just stupid, he's not humble. Like, he thinks he's really smart. So like, I'm okay with, like, stupid people, fine, you're stupid, that's fine. But if you're stupid and you think you're smart, that just gets on my fucking nerves. And this guy is the example of that, and he's from Suriname. So yeah, so that's why I looked into the statistics, and I found, like, welfare rates are super high among Suriname and Antillians.
Yeah,
And
that's for sure. But I mean, for instance, I think compared to other black societies, they're not doing that. To be fair, they're not coming up to Moluccans, because Moluccans, they're completely integrated in Holland at the moment. And I mean, we had violent past with them in '67, I think it was. They even hijacked trains.
yeah, but
And
they're not.
We had Marines storming the train and blowing all their brains out. I'm not joking.
Jesus.
Yeah, we
Well,
had like this is the '60s. We had like there was a hijacking in a train, the train capping by the punt, like the train hijacking by the punt, and then at the same time they were hijacked the school, and the school, they let all the children go after 3 weeks. Oh no, after 2 days, but they stay there for 3 weeks, and in the train as well. And then the prime minister was like, okay, fuck this, we're gonna end it with violence. And in the school, they drove the armored personnel carrier into the school with machine gun blazing, and they just charged in with Marines, and they surrendered. And in the train, they literally started flying fighter jets over the train, so that everybody in the train went to lay down, except for the hostage takers. And then they just mowed. They didn't care. They just shot the whole train to pieces.
Jesus.
If you see the pictures of the train, you just see these yellow trains that we use in Holland, and you see holes in all everywhere.
Well, but
Just bullet
apparently
holes through the whole thing.
that worked to put them in their place.
Yeah, I think no, but after that, I think there was some discussion with the community, because basically what happened was the Moluccas fought with all Dutch against the Indonesians in the war for Indonesian independence, basically, like from the Holland. And basically the Moluccas were fighting with Holland, and basically they said, okay, we have to pull back because the United States doesn't want to give us any tanks and any ammunition and weapons anymore. And they said, like, Holland, you cannot have colonies anymore. This is not that, you can't do this. So basically we had to pull back. And the Moluccas were like, okay, if we stay here, we're getting murdered. So might be a good idea to come with you. So they came basically to Holland. That's how it is. And then later on, the kids from the ones that came to Holland were like, yeah, but we want our fucking country back. Holland, let's go to war with Indonesia again and get our country back.
And did a lot of them return, or did they stay?
No, they stayed because the Netherlands was like, no, we're not going to war with Indonesia again. I think this is something stupid, but I think we still should do that. We should still go kick the shit out of Indonesia and take part of the country back for this population.
Well, but it wouldn't work anyway, because the thing is, like right now, the most the biggest minority in Portugal is like the blacks, and they're blacks from our former colonies, most of them, like
Hmm.
from Angola, Mozambique, and Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau. And they, well, they don't want to. First of all, they don't want to go back, and the mentality amongst most people is that no, no, we should. They should stay. They're just as Portuguese as the other ones. And the only fucking thing, they don't know how to speak. The great majority of them, they don't speak proper
Yeah, that's quite
Portuguese.
bad.
They they influence the culture negatively, because then you have this stupid ghetto culture where some of the white people get involved as well, so they become degenerate as well.
Yeah,
And
I know what you mean.
it's just fucking retarded. And why do we need people from outside to do fucking jobs that we can do? Like, we don't need black people to work in the supermarket. I'm sorry, we just don't. If you want to bring some intelligent blacks, sure, bring the intelligent blacks, but not just the general.
Yeah, that's also the problem. The way they think is so fucking retarded. It's like, I mean, if you look at, for instance, Finland, about how many people went home from Iraq, their I think their state 12 or some shit like that. 12 Iraqis stayed in Finland because they don't get benefits. It's cold as fuck. They don't like the food, so they're like, fuck this. I'm going home to a country that is being torn up by ISIS. I don't care. This cold fucking place where I get no money and the food is horrible. No, no, no. I don't want to stay here. I mean, I think if we have a good winter in Europe, these people run back to Africa.
God, I hope so.
Seriously, if they have to live on the street with minus 30, they will run.
Well, the problem is that they don't live on the street. That, like, the state gives them houses so they can destroy them. That happens every fucking time. Like,
Yeah,
the
but I mean,
Portuguese
if they
government
destroy their
is,
houses with minus 30, they're gonna freeze to death anyway.
well, the government will just give them more, because that's what happens. Like, they build
Yeah,
they
but to
build
be fair, the
these.
climate, the climate in Europe has been very mild this time. Like the few years that passed, I mean, I've not seen a good winter since I came to Poland. Seriously, I have not seen a winter in Holland that was like 1 meter of snow and minus 15 or something like that. My dad, he saw winters like that in Holland all the time. But after like 20 years or something, 10, not 20, I think 25 even. There's no more winters like that. I mean, if there's real winters like that, these people are not gonna come anymore.
Yeah, but we need to solve this shit. We can't wait for the fucking planet to help us. Like, we need to solve this shit ourselves.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I mean. But I mean, if there's gonna be a good winter and good leaders, then it's gonna solve it quite quickly.
yeah, I don't think any democratic party will solve this shit. Honestly.
No, the thing is, I fear the worst. Fear that, like, for instance, the German army is gonna rise up against Merkel and just execute her ass or some shit like that. Because now I feel what they're doing. I think that with all the nonsense that they're pushing into the army, I think they're also basically purging the army of anyone that speaks differently or doesn't thinks differently. It
Well,
really looks like that.
but that's part of the problem, because, like, for example, you see here in Portugal, you see a lot of black policemen. When if a fucking race war starts, who do you think they'll be on? Which side do you think they'll be on? You think they'll kill other blacks for the Portuguese nation? They will not do that shit. They
Well, you
just
should look
won't.
at South Africa. In South Africa, it's really bad situation now, and they have a lot of black coppers, but they're still sort of, because it's not so much the thing with black people. That's what is really funny actually, is that there's always groups in between black people. So you basically have a majority of black people from one tribe, and then you have a majority of a tribe of something else. And they would still look at the Hutsis and Tutsis, man. They to me they both look the same thing, but somehow they could tell that they're different. It's the same with the French and the Germans. They look to anyone else like outside of Europe. This is the same people. No, 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 no. And that's the same for the Hutsis and the Tutsis, and they will murder each other. I think as soon as the whites are gone or leaving or out of fuel, they will just turn on each other and beat the
Oh
shit
yeah,
out of it.
Of course they will, but that's not to say that they will stand with the whites against the other blacks. I just don't see that happening.
No, I think the best way that you can do is just get the fuck out of the way. For that, if they're like big ones, like that groups, and I think in neighborhoods and so on, I think it's mostly rival gangs. Like even in America, you even have the Bloods and the Crips and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Somehow they're still against each other. So I mean, I think the best thing that you can do in Portugal in the black neighborhoods is just avoid the neighborhoods, and they will kill each other.
Well, that's true to some sense, but there's also other part like the center of Lisbon is a fucking pigsty right now. First, you have all these blacks, and now you have Arabs everywhere as well, and other outside of that, you have people from Bangladesh who are also Muslim. They tend to be nicer and civilized, but just wait until more of them come and see how civilized they are. And then,
Yeah.
in addition to this, in addition to all this stupid diversity, and the Ukrainians as well, like in addition to all of these immigrants, you have tourists everywhere all the fucking time, like British tourists, French tourists, Scandinavians, like, and it's fucking maddening. Like you're trying to go to work and you can't find a fucking Portuguese person.
Yeah, that's quite bad, but that's the capital city. It's the same in London, I think. Same bullshit.
Yeah, but it's terrible. Like I'm leaving this fucking place as soon as I can. Honestly,
Oh, I know.
goddamn, and you know I think I'm really sort of racist against any other race because the Scandinavians really piss me off, like almost as much as, I mean, they're more civilized, but
But what did the Scandinavians do that pissed you off so much? That's quite interesting to know.
there's so many fucking tourists, man. And they make a lot of noise. Like they say that the Southerners are noisy and shit. Fuck, they're shouting like The other day I was in a fucking metro carriage, and there was on one side a bunch of black people making a lot of noise, and on the other side a bunch of blonde people making a lot of noise, and like in the middle there were the Portuguese going to work, like, and I was thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are these people shouting? And seriously, it was blondes on one side, blacks on the other, and like normal Portuguese people in the middle going, what the fuck?
It almost looks like segregation.
Well, they segregate naturally, but I just don't want them there. Like, fuck the blacks and fuck the Scandinavians as well. They make too much noise and they're too tall. They just piss me off. I'm sorry, they just piss me off. And their food sucks. Their food fucking sucks.
Oh, you never had good food. I mean, in Portugal, I never ate good food.
Oh,
well,
come
sometimes shrimps though. Sometimes.
But
Nah.
you're half Scandinavian as well. You're Dutch, so like you don't know
Not
what
even
you're talking about.
close.
But you know what I mean is each people should be in their own place.
Yeah, each people should be in their own place and should do their own shit and be diverse. And as you can go, and then tourists, of course, they can go to places and watch native people and interact with native people that are from that native town. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
that would be fine, but I don't know why you have to bring all these people everywhere. And the thing also, what pisses me off is all these super malls. You know, the super malls, like you have them in Portugal, you have them in Netherlands, you have them in Germany, you have them in France, you have them in Poland, and they're all the same shit. You have a H&M there, you have C&A there, you have a supermarket there, you have all this standard, you have MediaMarkt. They're every fucking where. It's all the same fucking shit that they're so everywhere.
They want this stupid global culture that's not really culture. It's just cultural emptiness. This is what they want for the future of humanity. Each country being the same, each people being the same, everyone's mixed. There's no identity anymore to anyone. This is what the globalist elites really want. They want fucking global slaves. And that's why they want to erase white people, because we're the only ones that are smart enough to go against it. Well, the Asians as well, but it's harder with the Asians because the Asians still have identity. Like if you tell a Japanese that he's Chinese, he's gonna be fucking pissed.
He's gonna
really.
he's gonna cut you with his samurai sword.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, the Chinese are also very proud. But I mean, it's only pushed here because Chinese doesn't. They don't give a fuck about this shit. Japanese don't give a fuck about this shit. The only thing Japanese have the problem now with the culture and so on. But I think it's also in Western culture. It's just like, don't get married, screw as much as you want, don't do fuck all. Like the whole family culture is gone. It's like only it's only self pleasure and self gratification. It's really like you and no one else. And I mean, in one way, it is a good thing that you pick yourself above anything else. Like you're the most important person in your life because you're the only one that's gonna take care of you. But it's also uh, isolating yourself and making you an easy target because you don't know anyone. You're not gonna ask anyone for help, and you can be very easily eliminated
And not
if
just
you
that,
become a nuisance.
and not just that. Like if you isolate yourself, like the family is the first thing. Like, oh, yeah, I'm hearing your, I'm hearing myself in the background.
Oh, sorry,
Sort of weird.
I'll
Okay,
move a
so
bit that way.
okay, what I was saying is, um, fuck, I'm still hearing myself.
Really?
Yeah.
I move further away.
Why don't you just put, headphones or something like a normal person?
Ah, fuck that. I'm not a normal person.
Goddamn Dutch people.
Let me a sec.
But what I was saying is, the family is the first step of, you're a person, then you have a family, and if you isolate the person from the family, you also isolate it from. Jesus, what are you doing?
I was just putting out the mic.
God damn it. Well, anyway, I was saying the family is like the second step. You're an individual first, then you're a family, and then you're a people, like a nation, and that sort of thing. And if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
isolate
exactly.
yourself from the family, you also isolate yourself from all the other communities
Yeah,
that
but you build
people.
family first, then you build yes, sort of your city, and then your environment, your neighbors, and so on. Because you're gonna talk with the neighbor if your kids are playing with the neighbor's kids, and so on, and then you're gonna get to know them, and then you're gonna build up this friendship between you and him, and so on, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it goes up and up and up until like you're a people, you're a homogeneous people, and if they can take that first step of the family of just isolating you as an individual, they can kill everything else. Like that's why living in a major city is so fucking depressing, because you don't talk to your neighbors, they don't even acknowledge you, they don't look you in the eye, they don't say hello. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I know it's horrible. I do try to say hello to my neighbors.
Oh yeah, I mean I do, but I have some right now that have moved here to my building recently. They don't talk to anyone. Like the people that are here for a bit, they talk with each other. We don't really know each other, but we say hello, and we know, just basic uh basic education, I guess. But the new ones, like it's becoming, and the younger the people, the stupider and more atomized they are. It's,
Yeah,
sometimes I think, like, if this is the fucking white race that I want to save, like it's not worth saving. Like fuck them. I'll just go to
yeah,
South
but to be fair,
America.
yeah, I go to certain. Well, you have a nice choice out of crazy countries as well.
That's true. But at least in South America, people are still like warm with each other. Like it's not like this fucking modern culture. And I guess if you go to more, smaller towns and shit, people are nicer. But in Lisbon, it's fucking terrible. And
Yeah,
I
I
guess in
agree.
London and all the other major cities.
You can always go to a gay bar. They're always friendly there.
Goddamn no. That's part of the problem. I mean, I want to help these people, but they don't want to help themselves. They just want to
No, I
live in
think I
sin all
think
the
they just
time.
get delusional with women, to be fair. But I think also feminism helped a lot to just make people not even try anything with the other sex, basically.
Yeah, but what created feminism? Was it the feminists, or was it the men being pussies and not just saying, You're not a feminist. Come here, just let's have sex and have a baby. Come on." If
To
men
be
are
fair,
men,
no. If you had a fat fucking chick come to you and say, "Hey, I like you," when you make a baby, you would be like, "No way."
well,
Come
but
on.
there are ugly men as well. They need to be fucking realistic. Like there's this girl at
Yeah,
work.
yeah, but those fat women are never gonna be realistic. They're gonna still want the hot supermodel man. I'm gonna guarantee you that they're not going for the neck beard fat guy and gonna be like, oh, I can't get this hot supermodel. I'll just take this fatty then.
No,
They're not going like that. They will
you know,
never go like that low.
you know what I know what you mean, but at the same time, like there's and I've seen this several times. There's this girl at work that technically supposedly she's a lesbian, but and she's not bad looking. She's a little like she could lose some weight, that's true, but she's not terribly ugly. Like an ugly guy could go for her and have babies and be happy. And the only reason she's a fucking lesbian is because no man is willing to just go to her and say, Just stop this shit, stop dyeing your hair blue, because that's fucking disgusting, and just be a normal woman, and I'll have babies with you. Just stop." And she'll stop being a lesbian. Like I
Oh yeah,
guarantee
yeah, yeah.
you.
I guarantee you, as soon as they had some good fun, they will stop that bullshit. I know that for sure.
And it's not just fun. It's not just fun. You know
But also the problem is, do you trust this one because he's already tainted by this feminism? It is hard to also put like there's just women. There's for sure that like crazy feminists that look fine, but in their fucking head they're already fucked up. I mean, you don't want to sleep next to this shit and get a dagger in your eye or something like that for being a man. Fuck that.
I don't think most of them are that bad. Actually, I think like if they get a real man by their side, they'll come around. And if you really are worried, just do a
Yeah, 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 yeah.
prenuptial.
Tie them up and shit. Yeah, I know.
No,
But to
not
be
just that. Like marry them, but create a prenuptial agreement. Like
no, no, no!
dress
Don't
like that
marry
or
anyone.
something.
To be fair, don't marry anyone for the state paper. Just.
No, I mean marry her through the church, but for through the church you have to have a state paper as well. But if you're really worried, just do a contract before.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, but don't get married in Western Europe. No, no, no! Don't do that shit. Or Western America, or East America.
well, you have to. Come on, you're gonna have
No, no,
babies
no!
outside of wedlock. Then there's no
Well,
obligation.
it is better because he doesn't fuck you around. To be fair, in all fairness, I do want to have some sons, but I am not very 100% sure if I do need a woman for that shit. I mean, yes, you need
Come
a
on.
woman to make them, but I mean, I
No,
will
but
raise them by myself because if I.
children need mothers as well as fathers. They need both. Come on. Like yeah, I've met some people who were raised by their fathers. They're completely fucking insane. Even more than the ones raised by their mothers are losers, but the ones raised by their fathers are fucking insane. Trust me. You need a
Yeah, they're
woman, and
batshit crazy.
your babies need a woman as well.
Yeah, I agree. They need a woman and they need that softness as well. But in one way, I agree with you on that. But in the other way, do I trust any of these bitches? I don't know.
First of all, you're at a great place to find a woman. Like Poland is still very much traditional. So
I know, I know.
just go to church is what I keep telling you. Go to church, meet a traditional conservative woman, and make babies. And she'll
You
be a
know,
great
you know,
mother.
I already met some great chicks, but in all fairness, no, no.
Well, if you meet them in bars, of course they're not going to be
No, no, I'm
traditional.
not. I'm meeting them everywhere. To be fair, there's so many of them here. You
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 know,
cannot go walking around them.
I have two friends already that are in the process of marrying Polish women because they're so fucking reliable and traditional. So
That's good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like blondes honestly, but
Oh, come on. You have diversity here. You have brunettes, you have blondes, you have redheads. There's so much diversity to pick from.
I don't like those kinds of brunettes. I like Portuguese brunettes. That's
I
just
know you like tent ones. We also have Spanish ones. There's psycho
I
Spanish
like the
ones.
Spanish as well.
Yeah,
Like
man, the
they
Spanish
speak
are
a
completely
stupid language.
psychos.
Yeah, the Spanish have a really big problem with degeneracy. To be honest,
Yeah, they are
they're
really
fucking
degenerate.
sluts.
They are really
Ah, it's
horrible.
true, but they are cute. I
Oh
have to
yeah,
say.
I'm not saying they're not cute, but they're really degenerate. Like
Yeah.
I remember, I deleted Tinder now from my phone, but I remember there was one Spanish girl that liked me, and you know all these Polish chicks, their profiles doesn't say anything about sex, and they're like, I don't want to have sex, you know, I'm looking for something else. They take this like a normal dating service, not like how you take it in the West, like okay, fuck me page or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was one Spanish girl, and it was like, I do anal. If you want anything else, just ask. And that was the only
Jesus
page I could
Christ.
find with something like that. The rest of them were all like normal, like I wait this long, I like this shit, I like fitness or shit like that. And this was the only one that was like that direct.
You know, there's a saying here in Portugal that we say is from Spain. There's no good wind and no good marriage. That's
Oh yeah,
what we say.
that makes total sense though. And don't marry Spanish women; they're
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh no, I'm Portuguese. I'll never marry a fucking
No,
Spanish.
no, no, fuck that. But especially with the laws now in Spain, man, you're never gonna set foot in that country. I'm not setting foot in that country with a woman. No way.
Yeah, anything like you touch them on the
No,
metro and they
you
can
touch
accuse them
them
of
on the
rape.
metro, it's rape.
And that
He
shit's coming
touched,
here as well,
and
man.
the problem is that they throw you in jail for that shit as well. You only touch their boob in the metro, and you're already in jail for that. It's like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
You
Fuck that.
know, what I say is that men in the West need to take fucking responsibility and put some sense into their women, because that's really what they're crying out
Oh
for
yeah,
sense,
yeah,
man.
that's what they're crying out for as well, to be put in their place. I can see that like drooling from their faces, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It's really sad in a way.
And then yeah, the funny thing what I do is just I don't give a shit about you and leave, and then they're like sad.
Yeah, because they want to be put in this pedestal, and at the same
Yeah, they
time,
want to
like
be admired, pedestal, and then in the same time they want to be sort of bitch slapped. I don't know what it is with them.
they want to be admired, they want to be bitch slapped, and at the same time, they supposedly want to be equal. So, do you want to be a goddess or do you want to be equal?
Yeah,
And
a goddess equal slave, something like that, in the
yeah,
sense of that.
what the fuck?
So they can be the goddess of equality that is wearing a dog tie, like a dog band, and then you have a chain to a man. Something like that. It's the only thing I can imagine that would be like.
But I keep going back. It's not the fault of the women. Like the women need to be led by men, and the men in the West have let women down. Like we should be leading the fucking society, and instead we have
No, but I
allowed
don't
this
think
all
it's
this
that
shit.
much that you have to lead them. I think you just have to correct them when they're doing something wrong. You just let them be and do whatever they want. And then when you see that they're like about to like crash themselves into a brick wall, you say, "Hey, hold on a second." And then you just stop them, but you tell them why and that it's not a good idea. And if they still want to crash into the brick wall, you let them. And they will come back to you crying.
I have a different view. I think men should take control, because when men start saying no, just do what you want as long as you don't do bad things,
No, no, no. I
you're
say
already
you just
starting.
let them do whatever. If they want to make food and stuff and do something that is useful, they can do it. And if they are capable of doing it, it's fine. I do the same at work. If they are capable of doing the task, I let them do the task. Of course, I tell them, okay, you have to do the task, and I would like it if you do it on Wednesday, and then they will do it before Wednesday because I told them, okay. But I tell them in advance. I'm not telling them on Tuesday do it on Wednesday. I'm telling them on Monday you have to do it on Tuesday because I know how they are. They're like special, but I know you keep track of it. You know, on Tuesday you check, hey, did you do it already? And they're like, oh no, I will do now. And then they will finish it on Wednesday. It's not a big of a deal, but you need to keep charge of that sort of shit. But I mean, if they have a task that they do every day, you can let them do it themselves. You don't have to sit on their asses like you have to do this shit.
No, of course not. That's not what I mean. I meant like I don't mean tell every woman what to do. Just find a woman that you like and that likes you, sort of, and then
And then
you'll
you
figure
take
it
him,
out.
and then you be Hitler for her, like.
No, no, don't be Hitler. Hitler was a fucking pussy as well. Like,
Yeah, he was kind of weird. I know. Stalin was the same, and he abused this woman as well. I think. You know which one was Putin? Oh, that was a woman lover.
okay,
He
that
told them,
that guy was a degenerate. Come on.
yeah, but he told them they were all ugly and fat and shit like that, and I think they were all like, "Oh, this guy's so amazing."
But now to tie it back with the topic of the conversation, which is race. After all, we completely digressed.
Yeah,
But I remember
like
this guy.
always.
Yeah, that's how it's it's fun. It's more fun this way. But
Yeah.
anyway, when I used to know this guy, I don't know where he went now, but he used to be pretty much a Nazi, like very very racist, like you like very very much more than we are, I guess.
Oh,
And
come on,
at
we're
some
not Nazis. We're
no,
progressive.
I mean racists.
Yeah, but we're progressive. We're not Nazis. We're progressive people.
I'm definitely not a Nazi. I mean, they're socialists, for crying out loud. For
Yeah,
me,
I
they're
mean they're
just as
socialist
leftist.
fucking wankers. What the fuck,
Exactly. I'm
man?
not.
You need to you kill. To be fair, you need to remove Nazism and you need to remove communism from the world, and then you have a peaceful world.
They're the same fucking thing.
Yeah, the only thing is, Nazism is more for like we want to have equality and all this bullshit for like small minority of people, and the other one is like, oh no, we can include everybody.
But the way I see it is, you have democracy, which is like the soft version of communism, and then you have national socialism, which is like a more aggressive version of communism, but only within certain borders, like in nations. And then you have international communism, which is the most crazy degenerate thing ever. So to me, the democracy, national socialism, and communism are the same fucking thing. We just need to go back to monarchy, honestly, and feudalism. And I think we talked about this already.
Yeah, I like feudalism.
But anyway, I was talking about this guy that I knew, and he was really really racist. And at some point, he just, like, one of the last times I spoke to him through email, because I didn't meet him in person many times. But one of the last things he told me was, I'm sick of this shit. I'm leaving the West. I'm leaving Europe. All the fucking women are fucking retards and progressive and feminist. So I'm just going to a stupid backward country and find me a real woman who can raise babies. And I think he did it. I think he went to Africa to marry a black girl. Just because
But was
the
he
women-
black or what?
No, he was white. But I think he got so fucking tired
Maybe he
of
went
these
to South
feminists.
Africa.
No, but I think he was really saying, like, I want a minority woman because those are the only ones in the modern world that actually are traditional. He told me something like this. So he wasn't talking about marrying a white girl from South Africa. He really went for, you know, some black
Some
girl or something.
backward person that only saw Mud Hut or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because
oh,
he
it's man. I have to listen to man, else I get beat.
Well, something like that, yeah. But he was so fucking tired. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he broke up with his girlfriend at the time because she was a fucking feminist or something. But he was so fucking pissed. And he went to Africa. I don't know if he actually married someone there. But eventually, this was one of the last times I spoke to him. And then he just said, I'm going to Africa. And as far as I know, he's still there.
All
So
right.
that's so fucking crazy that you get Nazis. Feminists are so crazy. You get Nazis going to Africa to marry black women because
Yeah,
the
they're
women
like,
in the
fuck
West.
this shit.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
It is. But to be fair, you cannot judge people on that shit anyway. I think there's a lot of people with grievances in things, like for instance, fascism and communism, and they will put a label on it. But maybe they're like going on certain topics, they're swinging the other way and so on. I think it's all complete nonsense anyway.
Well, I think this guy was like, he really liked National Socialism and fascism and shit. Like the real thing, like the German, the German pride crap. Even though he's Portuguese, so it's quite stupid. But anyway, he wasn't like us. He wasn't really rational. He really believes
Crazy.
socialism can work as long as white people do it, which is fucking retarded. Just look at Russia. They're white and they've completely had a like it's just retarded. But he believed all this shit, and even he, who hated black people, like I don't hate black people. I have some black friends, but they're the smart ones, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
depends on people. In all fairness, I mean, I don't have a problem. I have a friend here that is Polish, but his parents came from Somalia, so he says black. He says black as they come. And so, but he's Polish, and like he speaks Polish. I don't even speak Polish, and he just lives here. Nobody bothers him. I think they might bother him sometime, but he can just say, yeah, I'm Polish, blah blah. He has citizenship and all that shit because he was born here. So his whole name is Polish as well. So
yeah, that's that's kind of okay. That I don't mind those people, and that's the kind of friends of other races that I have. That they speak Portuguese properly. They don't identify with the stupid ghetto culture. They're normal people.
yeah, but here you don't have a ghetto culture, so they have to like integrate, and I think that is a very helpful tool. Like
Yeah,
it's mostly if they group up and then they're gonna do their group shit, and then they're just gonna be stupid twats in the corner. I mean, if they have to integrate and so on, and they have to adjust. I mean, you see it with the Portuguese here. They're all Portuguese twats still. They're all talking Portuguese when they're going out and so on. So they will not try to learn Polish. They will just be
I'm sorry for
Portuguese minority.
On behalf of my nation, I'm sorry for that. We have a lot of stupid people here as well.
I don't care. I hang out with them.
Well, they're probably stupid anyway.
Some of them are. There's a few of them that are really retarded. I agree with that. I won't go into details on a live stream because if they find it, they will fucking not do anything because I look Polish, so they won't do anything. But
But yeah, there's stupid people everywhere, and the West is completely fucking full of stupid people to the point where I don't know if it's worth saving anymore. Like, there's so many stupid people. Like, is this the white race we're trying to save? Like, I was watching the other day. I was reading something on a subreddit from the alt right, and they were saying that basically they prefer if a guy is gay with another white man than if a guy has a black girlfriend or a black wife. Come on.
to be fair, it depends on the IQ of the black girl, I think. If she's really stupid, like a dumb black girl, I would agree. But if she's a smart black girl, I would disagree. It depends really on, because the IQ will go to the children, and then you just get these mixed children that are fucking retarded, or you get at least someone that is really smart, and that it makes a big difference, I think. So I think it's more the IQ in race that you can say. Then
but they were saying in absolute terms they prefer homosexuals doing this degenerate crap than having like a normal heterosexual relationship between two different races. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just stupid. If you want to solve the European problem, the Western problem, you can't defend degeneracy. And maybe there's some gay couple that's really normal and shit, but I just don't see it. Every gay couple I see, they're fucking degenerates. They go to bars and they fuck all these other people. They're just not as they show them on TV. I'm sorry, but they're not. So we can't.
Yeah, but I know. I've seen some of them. I know.
And this fucking comment had like 30 upvotes or something. Like, everyone was saying, yeah, let's gays are better if they just fuck whites.
But I think South America is also hit by this shit already.
Yeah,
so
I know. It's very sad.
Because we got some new guy from Brazil as well, and he was like, yeah, I already had 3 girlfriends, 2 boyfriends, and all this nonsense.
Oh, gross.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, but Brazil is actually a great example of why multicultural, multiracial societies don't work. Because like,
but I find it so funny when they had that blonde Brazilian chick leading the Olympics, and it was fucking racism and all that bullshit, because he was a white German. Well, he was descended from Germans, but he was Brazilian, and they were like, Racist, racist, racist. And now we also have on a school Evergreen in America. They want to have no white day, so
Oh
they're
God.
trying to kick all the white people and the white teachers of the school.
God damn it. I'm
It's
so.
just black kids going around, black power, black power, black power. Oh, something like
I
that.
think at this point, Europeans just need to go to Mars or something and start colonizing Mars, because this world is fucking like, don't let any leftists in. Just let's take all the reasonable people to Mars, and we'll be okay. And then just leave the Earth to the stupid black people and the stupid leftists. They all love each other anyway, and just let them self-destruct. And then in like 100 years, the Earth would be completely empty, because they will kill each other or die of starvation because they can't do shit, and then we can come back. What do you think? I think this is the solution.
We come back with an alien army. We'll
Yeah.
be mutants. We'll be cyborgs and shit.
Oh, I don't want that. That goes to Dark Ages too much.
Not to
No,
be
we'll just be
fair.
humans. We'll just be
No,
humans.
to be fair, if we leave Earth now with some people that are progressive and all that stuff, and then come back to Earth in 100 years, I think we're gonna be shocked. What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I know it. It will be, well, whatever is right now, but 10,000 times worse.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think you can basically conquer them and throw them off, because if you have intellectuals, like you take all the high IQ people and you
Yeah.
start genetically engineering them to be all the babies high IQ, and you get a lot of brainiacs, I think you can make such amazing shit that basically when you come back, you can take over the place and they're not even gonna be able to resist.
Yeah, I agree. So that's the solution, guys. If you're listening, start working on your, start packing your shit. We're going to Mars.
No, I wouldn't say Mars. We can find a nice planet with some water and crap.
Like Venus.
No, there's some other ones already. They found a few that look like Earth.
Yeah, but that's
But they're
really,
further
really
away.
far away. Yeah.
We can get there.
Okay, basically anywhere we can go that's fairly okay to live, let's just go there and leave all the
Can you
leftists
imagine
behind.
if we land there and there's fucking social justice warriors with signs, welcome refugees?
That's the best fucking idea. You should write a book with that. Like, our
Like you can
civilization.
write a book how people try to get away from this world, and then we're building a fucking spaceship, and then they finally go, and then after 20 years of flying, and it's solar, and then they come there, and it's like aliens that look like humans, something like that, and they have signs welcome. They all have pink and blue hair.
Fuck, that would be amazing. I would read that book. Okay,
Oh.
I think this is a good place to end this.
Yeah, I think so.
On a optimistic note. Then we can
Yep.
take over the social justice warriors there anyway. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you all for listening. Thanks for joining, Lurts,
Yep.
and we'll have another one soon.
Yep. So
Okay, bye
talk to you
guys.
later.